Hello YouTube friends and family, David here, back with another video for you all. Hopefully everybody's doing well. Hopefully you're having a great week so far. And today I wanted to talk to you all about 5 designer scents that feel niche quality. And what I mean by that is just basically the blend of the fragrance, how the fragrance feels when you're wearing it, and the quality of it overall. That's what I'm basically getting at when I talk about niche quality here, that these can compete with those niche fragrances. And I wanted to mention with this list, I had a caveat. I had like 1 or 2 caveats with this. I did not include any Louis Vuitton fragrances or Tom Ford because at a retail store, those are already pretty highly priced to that niche pricing that I feel like those should not be included in this because they should feel niche, okay? They should feel like a niche fragrance even though they're a designer house. And then also too, another caveat, I try to keep this onto the all year round fresher side of things. I do have like 1 or 2 that I feel like are strictly for that fall and winter time, but mainly here, these fragrances could be worn all year round or more in that spring and summertime. But you know, like I always like to say, I do not like to pigeonhole my fragrances, so feel free to wear your fragrances whenever. You just got to be careful with your sprays. You don't want to be that person that people know is like, oh, that's the oversprayer guy. That's the guy that smells really bad because he puts 20 sprays of Sauvage Elixir on, for an example. I would never do that. But just wanted to give you all a heads up on that too. So, and a lot of these fragrances are reasonably priced, even at a retailer, I would say. But a lot of them you probably can't get at retail. So you probably have to look at the secondhand market, which is all fine and dandy. But just wanted to get that out of the way too. And also, I wanted to let you all know to keep an eye out on my community tab on the channel. I'll be putting questions about fragrance and fitness to include in future videos to give you all a shout out. I want to hear your all's feedback. And yeah, I'll be posting on YouTube Shorts as well, fragrance battles. So put your opinion out there. I want to hear which one's going to win. I put them to the test. So keep an eye out for those TikToks and those YouTube Shorts to have fragrance battles. I'm really curious to hear your all's opinion. And if you have not yet, let your family, let your friends know that David is making videos on YouTube. Greatly appreciate any support you give to the channel. And then also too, if you're new to the channel, after you get done watching this video, make sure to check out the rest of the content on the channel, such as fragrance reviews, fragrance challenges. I got you covered in that department. Now, let's hop into these 5 designer scents that can compete with the niche fragrances. First fragrance we are going to be talking about on this list today is from the house of Cartier, and I feel like this fragrance would be more, you could use this in the summertime, I will say. Just like I said, be careful with the sprays. And before I hop into the first one here, if you're interested in any of these fragrances, make sure to get a sample for yourself. Everybody's nose is different. Everybody likes different stuff. I don't want you to buy something off my opinion and feel like, oh, he was wrong about that. But I want you all to sample so you do not waste your money, okay? I feel very strong about that, and I even do it myself. Sometimes I blind buy depending on the line, but just want to get that out of the way. So first one we're going to hop into is the house of Cartier, and it is Elvon. I think that's how you pronounce it right, Elvon. It's got a little cool twisting mechanism here, a little vial in here. I think you can replace the vial and put a new one in here. So that's why it looks like this, got a little shield on the front. But Elvon, so I'll put the Cartier there. So this one here is going to be the eau de parfum version. It's not the eau de toilette. And this one's going to be a honey bomb, I will say. Got some accords of sweet, woody, spicy. You got honey, got gaiac wood, you got iris, and then you got musk in this fragrance. So 4 notes. This one's going to remind people a little bit of the eau de toilette version of Elvon. So just a little heads up on that. And this, like I said, this one can be worn, I feel like, all year round. Just be careful your situation, what you're going to do. And this has got some sex appeal to it too. I feel like this is more geared towards a man, but a woman, if she has that confidence, could wear this. Overall, this is going to give you a little powdery iris feel. That honey's going to be the main player. A lot of sweetness in here. And I enjoy pulling this one out from time to time. It's a simple scent with those 4 notes, but I really like honey in my fragrances. Honey is one of my sweeter notes that I kind of gravitate towards, like vanilla. I like vanilla as well. And like I mentioned, it's all about the honey. It's got a little touch of musk here. It's sweet, a little soapy, and it's light as well. It's not going to be something that's going to crazy project. This is going to be more of an alluring scent. Bring that like little nice scent cloud around you. And if you give somebody a hug or something, they're really going to notice this. And I've got some compliments with here. And in my opinion, there's nothing to dislike here if you like your honey scents, if you like musk, if you like that iris too. Powdery iris in this fragrance here. And overall, the performance and the projection, I'd probably say it's about a 1 foot. Like I said, very sensual, very close fragrance. This performance is going to last you all day from my wearing experience with this fragrance here. So first one on the list, Cartier Invaluable. If I'm pronouncing that wrong, don't attack me in the comments, all right? Sorry, hard name. Now, next one is from a house I see get mentioned from time to time. They do have, I will say, some fragrances that kind of slip under the radar here. This is probably my favorite from the house, and it is from the house of Tumi, and it is 19 degrees. So here in this black bottle, really slick bottle here. Kind of got some grooves. Got a little locking mechanism up top here. I'll lock that. Make sure it doesn't fall off, so it's kind of cool. They do luggage, if you did not know about Tumi. Some accords in here. It's got some leather, got some musk, it's fruity, and then it's a little smoky and powdery as well. And then this one, it's got some notes of saffron and bergamot up the top, got some raspberry and suede, got some birch as well in that mid, got some leather and musk, and then got a little bit of sandalwood in the base of the fragrance here. This fragrance is going to remind a lot of people of a fragrance, a niche fragrance that a lot of people know, and it is Creed Aventus, I will say. And I think a lot of people get that resemblance from that birch, which some websites say it's birch water, which is really enjoyable to my nose. And overall, that raspberry gives it a little bit of fruitiness to it, but this is going to kind of remind a lot of people of if you took Creed Aventus and you took Tom Ford Tuscan Leather, you combine them together, mishmashed it, you get this one right here. That's what this one is going to be like, but I will say this one's not like a screechy type of fragrance here. It's very smooth, really well defined. I get a lot of that birch water, I get a lot of that suede, and then as it's dried down, it kind of more into a leather type of vibe to it. And overall too, like I mentioned, you miss Tuscan Leather and Aventus, you get this. The performance is very nice. I will say 8 to 9 hours. I will say projection probably about 2 to 3 feet in the first 1 or 2 hours per se. But in my opinion, as of now, this is my favorite fragrance from Tumi. And you know, a lot of people like to say when they see a few things like birch water, oh, they're like, oh, it's Aventus, which just does have a Aventus feel, but it's different from those leather aspects in this fragrance here. And I will say it's a smoother fragrance than like a Tuscan Leather per se. Like Tuscan Leather can be kind of rough. This one's more smooth around the edges. All year round fragrance here. And it really surprised me. Last year's release, when I got it in, I was like, oh, this is really nicely done. Very, very, it's a designer fragrance, but it's hitting this list because it's a niche quality fragrance here in the designer realm. So 19 degrees from Tumi, second one, sleek bottle. Enjoy the scent, enjoy that birch water note in here. And yeah, so. Next one, now this is gonna be one house I really wanna get more into. In my opinion, they're probably the best car house. And it is no other than Mercedes-Benz, and it is Club Black. And I will say this is going to be the start of your vanilla fragrances here. What I mean by that is last year I feel like was the year of the vanilla. Altair, putting vanilla in there. Invictus Victory Elixir, they put some vanilla. And then you had Valentino Uomo Intense Vanilla. I feel like last year was the year of vanilla in men's fragrances. Now this one here, I feel like was kind of in its own little realm. And what I mean by that, it came out, when did this one come out? Just to make sure. This one came out around 2017. And I feel like around that time, you know, you had a few vanilla fragrances, but last year I feel like was the year of vanilla for men's fragrances. And this one was before all that. So ambery, vanilla, balsamic, warm spice in this fragrance. You got some accords going there. And let's hop into the notes of this one here. So you got some bergamot at the top to get a little freshness, incense, which I do get that, jasmine, vanilla, benzoin, and ambroxan, and some woody notes in that base to round this one all out. And I will say this is not like a screechy fragrance at all. It's a very appealing vanilla scent and very smooth and well defined, especially for the price you can get this at a discounter. And Mercedes-Benz quality has been always there for me, in my opinion, at least the ones I've tried. I've only got like 2 from the house. And overall, I really, really enjoy this one here. The amber is good. It kind of smooths out with that vanilla, and the performance is here too as well. Like, I get a decent probably 7 to 8. That projection's about 2 feet for the first hour and a half, 2 hours again with this one. And for me too, this could be like invol here, kind of unisex per se. Leans a little bit more towards the masculine, but a woman could wear this if she wanted to. But this shines in the cold weather, and this is more going to be your fall and wintertime scent here. But you can use it in that warmer weather I have before. It does okay. You know, it's not as stunning as if you wore it in that wintertime overall. So, and you know, I feel like you're not going to appreciate this much unless you wear it in that fall and winter time in the right season, the right scenario per se. Overall, it's just, you know, plain and simple, very enjoyable vanilla fragrance to my nose. And, you know, you get that incense, you get that vanilla, and this one just doesn't miss for me. It's got great versatility too for that fall and winter time. And overall, I'm very happy with Mercedes-Benz Club Back. If you want a good vanilla cheap fragrance, go with this one. Now, I've talked about this fragrance on the channel here, and I really enjoy this one. This one came out in 2022. Was probably, I wasn't making videos at that time, but it's probably my go-to release that year. And this is, I've talked about this fragrance before, is from the house of Hermes, and it is Terre d'Hermes Eau Givre. Man, ooh, this freshie here, I enjoy it. This gets a lot of wears around this time of year. So this one's got that citrus, fresh, woody, green chord, and it's got my favorite note. And I will say I do like this juniper berry as well, but my favorite citrus note is that citron note. It's got that prominent, and this has got Szechuan pepper. It's giving us free note breakdown on this one, but I really like the juniper. I really like the fresh citron going on there. And this is a really realistic citron, I will say. This is going to remind some people of Oche Fresh, the discontinued of Terre d'Hermes here. And it's going to remind people a little bit of Perseus, okay? And that's a Parfums de Marly fragrance that came out this year. And then Isola Blue, it's going to remind people from Roja Parfum, which I got a sample of that really, really appealing scent to my nose, that Isola Blue from Roja. And this one here, like I said, that citron note is going to be the prime player of this fragrance. And I feel like that DNA of the Terre d'Hermes, the OG, is still in the background of this. This is one of the best citron woody notes that you're going to get. Really strong, naturally smelling citron, and it's well blended with those dry woods. And that spiciness is a good added touch to this one. In that fall and winter time, like I mentioned, this one gets a lot of wears. I'd say 6 hours off the skin. Projects about 2 feet, I will say, in that first hour. And, you know, you don't want to, I haven't really found too many freshies that last very long, I will say. I usually say 5 to 6 hour mark is usually really good for a freshie. But let me know in the comments down below if you have a freshie that's a turn off your skin. I'll be very interested to hear. But this from Hermes is very niche quality here, and I enjoy pulling this out. Definitely need to give me a backup bottle of it. So, last but not least, I will say, this fragrance here, it was hard to put in. This is one of my new releases, or not new releases, excuse me. This is one of my new fragrances I got in my collection. That's what I was meaning to say. And I just wore this one recently. And I wanted to give a shout out to Dior Sauvage Elixir and Fahrenheit Les Parfums. Give a shout out to those two really, really banging fragrances, I will say, fire fragrances. But I want to give a shout out to Eau Sauvage Parfum, the 2017 version. I cannot wait to get the Eau de Toilette of this one. This one's got that old school feel, a little barbershoppy, aromatic, citrus, fresh spice, woods, lavender in it, balsamic a little bit. But man, this one's surprised me. And this was one I'm glad I waited a little bit further on in my fragrance journey to get, because I probably wouldn't enjoy this as much as I did at first. Usually when you start out in fragrances, you want something easy to wear, don't really want anything complex, and that's how I kind of was. And I'm glad I waited to pick this one up, because I've been wanting this one for a long time. And it just does not disappoint. I don't feel like if I would have got it early on in my fragrance journey, I would not appreciate it as much as I do now. And this is the Dior I'm going with just because it's new. I've given it some wears, and I'm really, really enjoying my time with it. This is the 2017 version, like I mentioned. Overall, this one is it's got that barbershop-y feel, that performance, that projection. I will say the projection, 2 to 3 feet off my skin for the first 2 to 3 hours. And this is one that kind of leaves that scent trail. It gives you those wafts, like when you walk away, it's still there. This isn't one that's just going to be overloading your nose if you're spraying it around your neck and all that. This is one that's going to leave that scent trail in a positive way. And this has got, again, my favorite note is citron off the top, bergamot, lavender, vetiver, and then the base, it's got a little bit of that elemi resin, okay? And this performs very well. I'd say 9 to 10 hours off my skin. You know, I didn't really get into that, but this is your sour kind of classic bergamot citron type of scent with some sweet elemi in the base and some sharp vetiver. It's got really nice rich blend overall, and like I mentioned, it's something that if you have a lot of respect for fragrances from years past, you're really going to enjoy that. It's got aspects, but this is more modernized for that current times, I will say. Like, this is the 2017. They do have a different version, and I really want to try out the eau de toilette and see how that is, because I don't know if that's been reformulated or not. If any of you know, let me know in the comments. But this is got a nice blend of that spiciness with that citrus to have it an all year round scent. And overall, I cannot wait to keep giving Eau Sauvage more wears. Don't get it twisted with the Sauvage line. This is Eau Sauvage Parfum, all right? So everybody, there is my 5 fragrances that are niche quality, that are designer scents. And overall, let me know your niche quality designer scents that you have in your collection. I'll be very interested to hear. Hopefully you all enjoyed this video, and I will see you all in the next one.